Friends, please be seated. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a particularly wonderful and incredible day in the life of our parish every year. It is our kickoff Sunday. It's the time when our kids come back from school. We're done with vacations. Yesterday, do you remember the 21st day of September? It was just yesterday. But thanks to Earth, Wind, and Fire, we will always remember that. But yesterday we said goodbye to summer and the nice kind of languid times, and we have fully embraced coming back into the hustle and bustle of our lives. It's as though the hustle and bustle doesn't wait for us. It just kind of barrels on through, right? You take a few weeks off, or maybe the summer. You go and you relax and take some time to be with your thoughts, to be with your family, and then all of a sudden, no matter how well you prepare, no matter how much margin you create, all of a sudden, boom, you're back in the saddle again. And here we go. The writer of the letter of James today, Jesus' brother and the leader of the church in Jerusalem, he writes to us and he gives us, St. Patrick's Church here in the 21st century, on the far-flung reaches of the Diocese of Los Angeles, a little Episcopal church with a big heart and a big footprint. He speaks right into the busyness of our lives and how we can use wisdom and understanding to frame the approach. I think it's important for us first, though, to look at what is wisdom. What is wisdom? If we look at all of the scriptures, we discover that wisdom is putting on a framework that is God's framework, a framework that is about the view of loving your neighbor as yourself, loving God. Jesus dials it in the New Testament or in our Christian scriptures, and that is to have the heart and mind of Jesus. To have the heart and mind of the one who is servant to all, of the one who lives and dies as one of us. It is to have the heart and mind of Jesus. In the New Testament, wisdom is always associated with being full of the Spirit of Jesus, full of maturity and understanding how to approach the problems directly in front of you. A wise person, wise in the ways of Jesus, wise in the ways of the Spirit, they come to understand how to handle the daily issues that confront each of us. We are forever asking Christ to give us wisdom and understanding, those siblings that go so well together, so that we know what to do and when to do it. And how often we come to understand the choices in our lives and how to respond. The goal is, as James tells us, to show by your good life that your works of love are done with gentleness, born of wisdom, the wisdom from above. At St. Patrick's this year, as we begin our programmatic year with a big ministry fair kickoff and with our godly play ministry in full swing, one of our themes this year is going to be Let Love Rule. Let love rule. How will we do this, besides the ways that we already do it so well? One is by cultivating and celebrating this wisdom from above. unpacking that, understanding that in a deeper and transformative way so that we can use the wisdom of Christ, that we can use the wisdom that inspired him to do the works of love and transforming communities so that we can do greater things as he has said. We're going to do it by drawing near to God and surrendering to God coming near us. And we will do it by following closer than ever our Master Jesus, leaning on him and surrendering to his wisdom from above. We will practice new ways together of welcoming his wisdom to live inside us. Not just as an idea, not just as some aphorism that we use, but to get it in our bones, in our heart, so that every single word we say, every single act of love, every single choice and decision that we make is framed and informed not by the wisdom of the world, but by the wisdom of the tender heart of Jesus. So St. Patrick's, I suppose the first question in our search for this kind of wisdom is to ask, who is the wise and knowledgeable among you? Now be careful, friends. As you begin to kind of take mental stock of the list of your friends and parishioners here, be careful that we don't run the risk of condemnation of the prophet Isaiah, who warned in his day the would-be wise and would-be righteous people of Israel, woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and shrewd in their own sight. I should put this as a sign up above my desk, perhaps above the mantle of my door. Because such wisdom, one might say, is its own reward, and a small one at that. The text today talks about a bigger wisdom, a bigger reward, a bigger gain, and that is as instruction, yes, for living the good life for ourselves, but it is also a call to live as a community with wisdom from on high, and understanding not just for ourselves, but for the world. Because this world as it is today, with its envy and selfish ambition, bombastic boasting and twisted truth, this world, even as it is right here in Mulberry, or Mayberry. I wasn't born when that show was on, so give me some credit here. A little sassy. But this world, even as it is here in Mayberry, is in desperate need of neighbors who are truly wise, pure and peaceable, gentle and willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits. This world needs folks who know what wisdom is, who recognize it, and therefore who will pursue it even though they may not achieve it, nor ever live to see the good fruits of their works of love done by gentleness born of wisdom in their own lifetimes. And so here, my beloved friends, I offer a word of caution and encouragement for the faithful. It is easy these days to grow hard-hearted and apathetic over the short supply of wisdom's fruits, especially as we are faced day in and day out, wherever we look and wherever we go. Bad news on every doorstep, and disillusionment on every channel, reminding us of what those fruits could be and of the realities of why they are not. There has descended upon our community and upon our nation and upon our world a kind of pall, a lowering cloud of discord and disenchantment for long enough that a discouraging frustration and ambivalence have taken hold in the familiarity and sameness of it all. It's just what we've come to expect, and from which all the conventional wisdom of this world will not and cannot ever remedy or deliver us. The first and last virtues of wisdom from above, listed in today's letter from the Apostle James, have particular salience to our circumstances today. Do you not agree? They are purity first and hypocrisy last. Wisdom, it says, is first and above all pure. The pure person with this kind of wisdom has integrity, always speaks with gentleness born of wisdom, and is characterized by the virtues listed after it. And it is without a trace of hypocrisy. And this is the condition to which the world's conventional wisdom has brought us. It suffers from what Erich Fromm has called this specifically human ingenuity, the lie. The lie. He continues, most of us are awakened, some more and some less brutally, to the fact that people often do not mean what they say, and say the opposite of what they mean. And not only people, but the very people we trusted most. Our parents, our teachers, and our leaders. Now, on this kickoff Sunday, there is good news, but wait. I don't want to say that our American culture here is worse in this respect than others in the world, but only that it is indeed very bad, as it engages in a great deal of hypocrisy, in its discourse. But in any case, I think that one reason why the conventional wisdom of this world is so irrelevant to the wisdom in life that we seek is that refusing to deal with the issues of unconventional wisdom from above in contemporary life is a sure way of staying out of trouble with the culture, and in particular with disturbing our civic life today. We have to be so careful. We just can't say that, so we don't engage. We disengage from the people at our very tables. We disengage from our parishioner friends. We disengage from our community discourse. Conversely, dealing honestly and thoroughly with our neighbors and those with whom we genuinely and authentically disagree with the unconventional wisdom of Christ in contemporary life would inevitably turn out to be subversive of the world order in which we live. It would mean an affront to accepted social and cultural norms and taboos, like refraining from talking about politics and religion at Thanksgiving dinner, or anywhere else for that matter. The unconventional wisdom of Christ, then, is, as it has been from the very beginning, revolutionary and countercultural. Some of you are old enough to remember the countercultural days of the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s 2000s and the teens, and here we are in 2024. And so let me offer this as the first and last word for us must always be one of encouragement. Take courage, my friends. Don't ever give up the light that is within you. Never give up the hard-earned and grace-filled wisdom from on high that you have come to embody in this place and embody in the world, because the one that has given you the wisdom has already overcome the world. Don't give up on your search for the unconventional wisdom born from above. Our search for wisdom and her sibling understanding requires not brains then, nor brawn, nor the kind of conventional wisdom the world can offer, but the kind of wisdom that brings courage and hope against all odds. The courage of those among us whose prayers and works of love are maintained against all of the conventional earthly wisdoms to the contrary, and the hope of people here willing to carry on despite the evidence on the one hand and the lack of evidence on the other. Our search for the unconventional wisdom of Christ is not dependent upon the instant gratification of our highest desires, nor does it bend to our preference for convenience or expediency. Rather, the wisdom of Christ is forged by an unflinching dedication and a grace-fueled courage to recognize and act in accordance with the truth that actually is, in all of its broken, messy, painful, and beautiful reality. But it is such unconventional wisdom from above which produces character and endurance and the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. It is the wisdom which is nourished by mature faith and God's amazing grace. This is the wisdom and understanding we seek here in this place for ourselves, for our families, and because we are called for the world. And so I say today, on our kickoff Sunday, take courage, church, because the kind of careful, ceaseless, creative search for this kind of wisdom for our own hearts and our own lives and for our world is the very unconventional wisdom of the heart and mind of Jesus. It is to be full of the Spirit of Jesus, and it can be yours and mine. Says the beloved brother of Jesus, James, when he writes, "If any of you lack wisdom, ask God, who gives to all generously and ungrudgingly, and it will be given you." Draw near to God. God will draw near to you. The invitation is to take on the wisdom of Jesus, the wisdom from above, as the highest calling and the highest priority for your life. Take on his grace, take on his tender mercy, and take on his love. For his love is pure, peaceable, and gentle, willing to yield, and full of mercy. And his love is patient. His love is kind. His love is full of joy and truth. His love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. His love never ends. So let us let the wisdom of Christ live inside all of us as we face the choices and decisions of our daily lives. May Jesus show us how to live the good life we've always desperately wanted, and that our lives be characterized by works of love done with gentleness, born of wisdom and understanding. May this be